channel, and welcome to another video. I am, first of all, wanting to we hit 7,000 today, which is amazing, and I am so happy that we did. I'm actually doing a test here. I'm shooting a pilot of a podcast that I will start here on the channel, but in order to do so, I need to shoot a test. I wanted to make sure that everything is going to sound the way it needs to sound. So I'm going to need you guys' assistance in that. I see that I have 2 people on live, so if you will, guys, let me know if you hear me well. Now I can hear myself and I sound good, but it is. Let me pull the other young lady. First of all, the picture that you see here is our co-star for this podcast, and it's going to be called Bonnets Bre. What the bullshit. So we're going to be talking about different subjects as you see today. Our subject is going to be working the job from a generational perspective. This young lady here on the screen is my daughter, and she is going to, like I said, be the co-star. And also, obviously, she's a different generation than myself. We have been talking about conversations and things, and okay, we have been talking about a lot of things, and so a lot of it has also dealt with jobs. And she has her own experience working, and she's going to be talking from her personal experience. So I was talking to her about a job that she had at one point in time and lost at one point in time. And, we kind of had different conversations about that. So another thing that has been going on here on the channel is the fact that we have my Jazzy Life and all of these other little people that we talk about. Now, I'm going to be honest, my daughter's not, she doesn't watch these channels, so she's not really highly abreast of all of their comments and things. Hey, Galatians, how you doing, love? Welcome to our pilot here. Like I said, the young lady on here is my screen, is my daughter. Let me go ahead and pop her right up here on the live. So this is her, this is me, and like I said, today we're going to be talking about working a job from a generational perspective. So she had a job at one point in time. She lost her job, so I was upset about it. Not because I really cared about the job or she cared about the job. It was just the fact that my point of view was, in any situation, there's a winner and loser. And I felt that she allowed someone to put her in a compromised position. And being that they put her in that position, she lost her job. So basically, she was the loser in that. And so my thing with her is, you don't let people control you like that. Now, we talk about this a lot with the My Jazzy Life situation and the fact that she's having a lot of trouble here on YouTube, and that is her quote unquote job. And people keep saying, go get you a 9 to 5, girl. Don't be out here putting yourself in a compromised position and allowing people to mess with your coin. And so we decided to talk about this thing. So I've pretty much introduced it. We wasn't going to do this as a live, but since we're here, and we do seem to be doing better as far as the audio, which is what our concern was. So I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself and let her talk about it. And guys, hey, Regina, as you guys come in, please let us know where you from. Also, if you know what generation you are, please let us know. Now, I think she said am a Gen Z. Gen X. I'm Gen X, and she was
a millennial.
And she's a millennial. So she's going to be talking from her point of view. So I'm going to go ahead and let her speak, and then we'll get a little bit more into this conversation.
Hey you guys. I would normally do my little intro to my, you know, YouTube to introduce myself, but here I am. Welcome to Being Creatively Free, cause this is gonna be definitely on the show. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, cause it is a vibe, baby. My name is Bre, as she has stated before. And another thing that I feel like she be like, I ain't gonna say she be doing this all the time, but when she was introducing the situation about the job, I feel like it's important to let these people know that I was working at a chicken plant, y'all. This ain't no Dollar General. This ain't no working at a gas station. This ain't nothing. This ain't no. Bree does have a channel, baby. It's right there. Being creatively free. I am on the YouTubes. Go ahead and add to the subscribers, baby. But anyway, um, this ain't no just run of the mill type of job. It's very labor intensive. You are in intense weather climate or whatever. You got the stank chicken, you got the stuff hitting juices hitting you on the face. It's a lot of mental things that went on with me working out there. It wasn't just like a little simple little, oh, just go do the job, because it was a lot that came with it. Okay, it wasn't just no regular job. This was intense. Like, this was a grown person, like a big boy job, like factory work. So that's number one. That's number one. Um to stay and okay, so my whole viewpoint on jobs, period, especially if it is not a job that, like, I went to college, so I have a degree, and I went to college to eventually work in my career. Anything outside of my career is a job. I'm not going to love it. I'm not going to enjoy it per se. However, when it came to working at this chicken plant, for one, I felt like they was making good money out there. And number two, I wanted to challenge myself just to see if I could do it and stick it out. So I'm not gonna say like I put out my all into the job. I'm not. And matter of fact, the next I can't say I'm not forth in everything. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. You shouldn't go throughout life and not put your all into what you are doing. I do agree with that. However, it was an uphill journey, baby. Working there, it went, and I ain't gonna cuss on her channel, but it wasn't nothing to play with. Okay, that's all I'ma say. That's what I got to say about it.
Well,
Well,
I don't
I
know
don't know
why
why
your your
your
video
video
went
went
away. I
away.
can
I
hear
can
you,
hear
but I
you, but I
can't see you.
Huh?
I
I
can't. We
can't. We
can't see
can't
you
see you
anymore.
anymore. Uh oh. Something did happen, but I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
Well, I
did,
did,
guys.
guys,
Put
put
her.
her.
Let me make
Let me
sure
make
it's
sure it's
showing. I
showing.
put
I put
her
her
channel
channel
link
link
in the
in the
text.
text.
So
So
there, that is
that is
there.
there.
But
But
we got an echo on the
on the
channel. It
channel,
looks
it
like
looks
you're
like you're
frozen.
frozen.
Maybe
Maybe it's
the
the
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
But whatever the
But
case
whatever the
is, what I
what I
wanted to
wanted
say
to say
is,
is,
I do
I do
get that
get
you're
that you're
saying
saying
that,
that,
but
but
from my
from my
perspective,
perspective,
you got
you
the
got
job
the
for
job
a
for a
reason.
reason.
The
The
end
end
goal
goal
was
was
financial
financial
goal.
goal.
So
So
with that, I get that, you had reasons of doing it or whatever. This is my thing. If you left it and you still have the same financial situations that you are planning to take care of, you definitely want to take care of them. So by you no longer working there, you still got the same bills. So that's the same thing that we say about the other young lady that a lot of us are familiar with. You still have the same bills, you still have the same obligation. So the fact that you are not working there at whatever time, I mean, still can't pay the bills, right? So it's different if you had another job that you found, okay, look, I was working here, I'm not working in my field, I'm still in school, but I went over here, I saw if I can do it. I didn't want to do it no more, so I'm going to go over here. That's a different situation because you didn't really lose there. You lost when you allowed them to take your paycheck. And that's my perspective. And as a mother, now obviously we know your situation, so the financial situation is different. You are just at this moment primarily officially taking care of yourself. And I'm saying it like that because of because y'all, my daughter, I have an announcement, is a baby daddy. And she can explain that. She does have a little saga that she talks about with her best friend slash baby mama on her channel. You guys will love the commentary.
Slash ex best friend, and I'm definitely taking her to court for my kids.
Anyway, that's a whole different video. But she said she's taking her to court. But anyway, like I said, you know, she's a baby mama and she does take care of those kids like they are hers. So again, you allowed this situation to affect that. And that's where I'm coming from. So I guess I shouldn't have even said what I initially said as far as not being a parent. Because honestly, you take very good care of those kids like they are your children. So with that being the case, then you do have to think about that.
Well, to kind of go back on
Okay,
what you
Galatians. You said you hear an echo. Is it me echoing or is it her echoing? She did have that, and that's why we weren't going to do it live. We came live to see if it would still be echoing, and I hope, like, I
well,
don't hear.
I don't hear echo at this moment. I did as she said, go out and can't come back in. I did refresh my thingy, so I don't know if I'm still frozen or whatever.
No, you look great now.
Okay. To hit on one of the points you just said, the goal was money. My goal was to see if I could do it. That was my goal. Because with as many avenues out here that there are to make money, I did see this job as the end all be all, as the only way for me to make money. Do I got other obligations? Yes. Should I have probably been employed by somewhere else by now? Yes. However, that ain't got nothing to do with the job. Because the goal can still get accomplished. That's how I see it. As long as
Okay.
I am still making strides towards my ultimate goal, I'm not losing. That's how I see it.
Oh, okay. So, got it. I hear and respect that. However, okay, let me say it like this. If it came down to the rent situation, that's where um what you got to think about. See, you're not completely paying the rent. And quite frankly, when you have no income, you're not paying anything. And that's the problem. You have not had to have that on your back.
It's
And
true.
so because of that, it's easy to say what you said.
Correct.
Now, for me, let me just give you a guideline from my perspective in this conversation. For me, you should be able to re-employ yourself within the next 30 days. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can do that, then you really kind of didn't skip much. Because usually, like you said about the working in the hole, you usually have a week of a full check coming after you leave a job. So that gives you a little time. But and if you get paid every 2 weeks, that means by that next 2 week period, whatever. So that's where the problem comes in. Because at that point, with that scenario, obviously you know that you helped and obligation at with that particular job. So then you stopped helping and it makes an impact in the household as a whole. So it's different when we're having this conversation and you are a daughter with no obligation. But
It
then
is.
when you become a daughter with obligation, yeah, the whole conversation changed. Imagine those kids not being able to eat because you ain't got no job.
But see, the thing is, and you actually being a person to like, and then it's like it's crazy because parents, y'all go hard, y'all go all out to make sure your children don't live the same lives that y'all did. So when we get older and we're not living the same lives that y'all did, and we're actually living differently, how y'all, it might not be exactly how y'all per se wanted us to live, but it's different than how y'all were living. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have the same responsibility. Like at 28, you had two old kids that was probably in school by then. I ain't got that issue. You had rent you had to pay. I don't have that issue.
Right.
You had different obligations, different stressors, different things to worry about. And luckily, thankfully, gratefully, I don't. So I do see the issue in, okay, yeah, you was helping and then you stopped. And I'm trying to get back to help. And I'm not gonna say I'm not upset about losing my job because that was some good money and I wasn't ready to go. However, you can skin. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm still in the process of getting a job so
You
I
are.
can get back to providing and helping and do what I need to do to get to the next level of financial security. So I will take a lot off your back, period. So that's my ultimate goal is to be self sufficient, financial security, woo, woo, yada yada. Is it? I don't know, cause mentally, the first day I got fired, I should have been out here looking for a job. But in my eyes, it's like, okay, bruh, you got 2 weeks of money coming in. You got two checks by the we got paid every week. So you got at least two more, you could chill. In my head, it was like, oh, you could chill. But I shouldn't have been in chill mode. I should have been like, yeah, it ain't too much stress, but let's not forget we got obligations. And that is where I did mess up per se. I wasn't tactful, I didn't plan. I was just out here. I'm not going to lie. I was out here. And the money done ran out. So now it's pressure under my tail to get back to where I was. But that's not saying that, like, I feel like older generations did take more pride in the jobs that they got, as well as jobs, having a job, having the opportunity to have the job. But us in the younger generation, because we don't have to deal with as much as y'all did, not saying we don't have anything to deal with, but our stresses are different, our responsibilities are different. Me, I don't have no kids. I don't have really the only body that is dependent on me is a stray cat outside, and he don't miss no meals. So, it is a different perspective generationally, but as well as obligation wise. Like my only obligation right now is to you, versus when you was 28. You had obligations to dang near everybody. You had obligations to your kids. You got obligations to rent because you can't get kicked out because you got kids. You had obligations to make sure the lights stayed on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as much pressure on me versus it was you. And I feel like, well, it ain't no I feel. You're coming from your perspective, and that's all you really can do. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I just did? I'm trying to pull the comments back up because for some reason I can't see them. Let's see. So let me see. Do we have any conversation? When one door opens, another. When one door closes, another door opens. New opportunity, which is true.
I do agree with that's Galatians. I do agree with her. And that was a mindset. Like throughout, I ain't gonna say throughout life. More when I'm getting, the older I get, the more, I guess, less stressed I get because the more I rely on my little mustard seed. Because the way I see it, as long as I got my mustard seed of faith, it's gonna work out. It's been working out. And Shorty barely had any faith. So now that all I need is my little mustard seed and I'm gonna be all right. That's really where my mind backtracks to it because I don't have other people relying on me. Like my mom did when she was my age. So I do rely on it's gonna work itself out.
Oh, shit. Shantae,
Not today, ma'am. Not
we're not
today.
talking about peach today. Well, tell me this from a male perspective. Do you guys feel like this conversation should be different? Because, to be honest, Peach always talks about her husband not providing. Now, obviously, she taught him to be like that. What about you from your age perspective, Bree India? You've heard me talk about Peach. You know a little bit about her. You see people talk about her on TikTok. Do you feel differently about that from a male perspective?
Do I feel differently about Peach?
No, about her husband being in the no income situation because he's a man.
Well, when I was younger, you instilled into us essentially, a man that don't work, don't eat. Matter of fact, that's in the Bible. If a man can't fish, if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for the rest of his life. He ain't, but it's like with this day and age, it's fickle because it's not always guaranteed that the money that the man is going to be, the primary provider. So for men that don't have jobs and do stay at home and take care of the kids, at the end of the day, somebody has to do it. I don't necessarily see a problem with that. The thing I have a problem is with her, I guess, demanding more than what she got. Like, you basically want this man to take all your bull crap, make sure the house clean, make sure the kids is tended to, and provide money, and provide when he's not in the provider position. You probably asking for too much. You probably asking for too much. That's not who you got. That's not. You don't have. You ain't got the man that, oh, my baby need help, so let me go get this job at this plant real quick. You ain't got that type of man. And then from what I do know, she has made it pretty easy for him to not even have that thought in his head. Like, the thought ain't never occurred, dang, Shawty needs some help this month. Let me help with, let me do more. She ain't got that type of man. And she did not create that type of environment. Her situation is very custom to her. That is, and in that same instance, that might not work for the next female. That might be her breaking, her final straw. Like, nah, you ain't got no job. I'm doing all this by myself. You got to go. But that's not Peach. She been dealing with this man for how long?
Long time.
This man ain't never had
Uh,
no job.
18 years.
And from what I can understand, this man ain't never had. Well, I ain't gonna say never, but he hasn't kept the job for a long time. In all those 18 years.
Yeah. So Galatians said that some women don't want their men to work and that her goal was to stack money to make sure that in case she had to take off, she would have money. Now, I will say this because we never really discussed this part of it. I thought you were saving money to save money. So, are you saying now that the time past that 2 weeks, that the money you were saving, you are now using to cover the bills, or did you not save?
The when I got fired, I knew I had two checks coming in. With those two checks, I was basically still living like I still had a job. I still pay my bills. I did put extra to the side because I knew eventually the money was gonna run out, but not all the money has ran out, and I barely, barely made it. By the skin of my teeth, still taking care of my obligations.
Hmm.
I didn't properly plan for these couple weeks that I wouldn't have money.
Well, you should always save toward a nest egg for if that happens because sometimes it can happen involuntarily, and sometimes it can happen voluntarily, but you always want to try to plan for that. Now,
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Miss Galatia said, my grandmother taught me to pray for the man I wanted, and I got one who had a rental property and owned and built his own home, was an electrician, mechanic, jack of all trades. I was blessed. Yes, you was, honey. Where you found him? Because inquiring minds would like to know. I've always said ever since I was little, before I even was really interested in men, I want a man to build me a house. My man need to build me a house. That's how I feel, and I still feel that way. Baby, you did it. You did that, honey.
Yeah, yeah. And I was gonna read her. I managed to work 3 jobs a week when I had my kids first and third shifts. On the third job, made sure that they had everything they wanted. Yeah, you was a soldier.
Like y'all grind so y'all babies can have everything they wanted. And what I feel like is a double-edged sword is grinding to make sure your babies got everything they wanted, because when they do grow up, they not really like, I'm not used to no type of struggle that my mama done went through. Okay, and she set it up for that way. So my perspectives, my viewpoints on a lot of things are going to be different based on the simple fact she didn't raise me how she was raised
That's true.
entirely. I'm gonna say it entirely.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Um, and yes, she, baby, you right. And you know what? It, it's like when you just read that, I used to wonder sometime with my dating life, like, what did my mama not teach me? Because quite frankly, she didn't prepare me for any of that. And what you just said was one of the things. That's something that you teach your daughters, or that's something that you talk about at least. Pray for the man you want. Ask God for what you want. God is the provider. Now, I did teach that part, but I never specifically said to my daughters, pray for the man you want. And now I do even remember, now that we're talking about this, my uncle was a preacher, and he would say, get a piece of paper and make it a triangle, and on each corner you write three things that you want to pray to God for. Then you fold it up and you put it in your purse and you pray for it. And so I don't know why it didn't stick. So both of us need to do that, young lady.
I'm all with that. I am more. I'm not gonna say I'm not a God fearing woman. None of that. But I am more spiritual than religious. However, that notion of writing it down, like what she said, just said, the Bible tells you to write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah,
I agree with that, because in my eyes, that's manifesting to me. You praying for what you want, and you're putting in the work to make sure you get what you want, and
yeah,
then you'll be fruitful by
yeah,
getting what you want.
yeah.
So
That's
I'm
true.
all with that notion. We
Yeah,
sure do need to make us a list. Matter of fact, I saw a video, and it was a lady talking about her. Matter of fact, I think it was Judge Toller, and she was
hey,
like,
Pastor Lisa. Sorry.
she was she was like, I put in my bio after. See, I love it. But she was talking about, basically make the list of the man you want. Like, get all of the features you want in your perfect partner. Write it down, and basically use that as a checklist when men approach you. Like, do he got this? Do he got this? Do he got that? What is your non-negotiables,
Yeah,
as well as your preferences?
yeah.
What is just your strong on the camel's back to Miss Galatians is not having a job. Your man better come with some
Now
money.
I'm gonna say
Ain't
that I
nothing
was
wrong
just
with that.
thinking about that. I don't think I've ever dated anybody that was a deadbeat that just didn't. I've never had that before. Now, have I had a person that probably didn't make um enough? I probably had that. This or something I had to work with, but I've always been resourceful and been able to work with it. But whenever I was always in a relationship, and even if I wasn't working, if the guy was working, we always kind of did. We had it together. Now, the thing that I think that my issue was when it came to that was, um, I guess, knowing how to. Um, nurture the relationship better. I think that was a weak point. Like I always, we always learned that a man finds his wife or a man finds a woman. So I never really put a lot out into trying to do that part. Because if he was there, he was there. If he wasn't, he wasn't. I ain't chasing, I ain't begging, I ain't nothing. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a beg. As a mature woman, I realized that. But when I was young, it was like, what if? But I mean, you know better, you do better. But you're right. You said God is into details, so I suggest writing the details. Passion Lisa said that. Tell the Lord what kind of man you want, and the details, and be specific.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and close this thing out. We've been on here 30 minutes. But so from my perspective, guys, also if you have topics that you would like us to discuss from a position of perspective as far as our different ages, you can definitely put them under here. You can put it on my commentary wall, anywhere. You can DM, whatever. We're going to do a weekly basically we're going to do commentary weekly on different topics. This was just one because this was a recent conversation that we had that we wanted to open up with. I wanted to see how it did. I don't have as many people here, obviously, but hey, when you start something new, it's like that. I'm amazingly happy for you seven that are here, and hopefully I'll catch some more in the replay, and that's fine. Also, let me see if I can pop it up. Let's see if it's in here, because this young lady does definitely have a channel. Now, her channel name is listed right there, Being Creatively Free. I also, as a matter of fact, I put her channel name in the chat up above. So, guys, be sure to, I'm going to put it again, and I will also update the description of this video with her channel name. So, y'all be sure to check her out. Like I said, she is a millennial, just a straight millennial.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. So things are from her perspective. Now she does know a little bit about the My Jazzy Lives and things. And as a matter of fact, she's also starting a podcast with a friend of hers. Tell them what the name is going to be.
Opinions are like assholes, and everybody's got one.
So there, I told her I would love for her to discuss
Appreciate
the
that, Miss Galatians. I'm
what
sorry.
you say.
She said she subscribe. Appreciate that, boo boo.
Yeah. And also, like I said, I told her I would love to see her and her friends' perspective on Jasmine. So if you guys have a video that you would like them to watch on their first um podcast, let me know, because I do watch jazz some, but I don't watch everything. Now, let me ask you before we close out your perspective on her. Let me give you a quick synopsis. There's a lot going on in her personal life, from CPS to all types of drama. Let's just say,
Honey, honey, the way I feel about Miss, and it's not just about her specifically. I don't want to make it seem like I'm pinpointing her, like ooh, ooh, ooh. But it seems like a lot of these women, especially a lot of women with a whole bunch of kids, y'all be more focused on the men than the baby, and I don't like that for y'all.
so
I don't
that's what you feel about Jasmine.
I do. I do feel like she is more involved with her dude than she is with her kids. She got a mommy channel, for heaven's sake, and she barely mommying. Like, she don't go nowhere with her kids. Well, if she do, she barely go anywhere with her kids.
That's true.
And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I think she on something, but that's just me.
So you
Like
mean like the
my mama,
pharmaceutical?
my mom didn't grow up the way I grew up. I done been. I ain't gonna say I was just out here gutter, but I done been in some situations. I done been around the way, and I know a thing or two, and one and two don't mix together when it comes to that lady. She all look. She on something. That's all I got to say.
Would you say she on something?
She on something. From the from a couple of
Child.
videos, from a couple of videos I done saw, from a couple of lives. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't like that. Mm-mm. People keep talking about how her house nasty, how your house nasty, and you're the one broadcasting it. I don't get that. You ain't got no clean room in the house. Your porch ain't clean. Like, come on now. Come on now. You
That's
really, she be set. It's like she sort of kind of be setting herself up for failure. And I don't like that for her because I really want everybody black to succeed. That's just how I feel personally.
that's true. That's true. That's true. Well, hey,
From what I heard and seen, because I had,
mhm,
like she said, I'm not into her life. Like I don't, watch her lives. I'm not subscribed, none of that. I don't watch none of that. Like even with Peach at first, before she was even as big as she is, and I first got introduced to her, I love me some Peach because she was talking about how to get people houses built from the ground up out Section 8. And it's like I'm with all of that. I'm with all of that. But when she started talking about extra stuff, when she started being as fake as a $3 bill, it's like, nah, I ain't here for that. That you got too much going on. You ain't even about to get a view from me, baby.
that's true. And that's how a lot of people are starting to feel. That's definitely how a lot of people are starting to feel. So we're gonna go ahead and close this thing out. And guys, what I need to do is hear from you. So be sure you guys comment below. Let us know your take on our conversation for tonight. Also, Miss Bree's perspective. Also, her channel is being creatively free. I do apologize. I do not have her commercial because I do have one, but for some reason I can't find it in here for me to pull it up so that I can show you guys that channel. But it is being creatively free and it is there in the comments. I thank you guys so much for checking us out. Our normal day that we will broadcast our podcast is going to be on Thursdays. So today was just like I said, I came on here as a test, but since we were already open, everything was kind of moving. I didn't want to start and then stop, because it already was going to take time. So thank you guys. We're going to try not to keep you guys as long. Some subjects will be longer than the others, but either way, like I said, I thank you so much, and be sure to check her out. And guys, I will definitely see y'all in the next one.